I'm not going to say why I'm doing this one today. So, what I want to talk about is Kèqì. So Kèqì, we know what chi is, right? And Kèqì is guest. So Kèqì is probably not sort of describing a kind of chi flowing through your body, the way we hear about types of chi. But it's this description of how one would be as a guest. Or I want to say behave, and I don't feel comfortable with that, but how somebody would conduct themselves maybe as a guest. So we might imagine that, you're not late, you're not maybe without a gift or a kind word. I'm sure the guest is not going to sort of be making excessive requests of the host. Maybe they're a bit complimentary, or maybe we could say paired with that, they're not going to complain about things just because they notice something's a little worn or unkempt or something. So thinking about the idea of, if you were to describe what the energy of a good guest is.
You know what my definition would be? The opposite of Bill Murray from What About Bob?
Yes, exactly right. That's very good. I like it. So just maybe take a few moments now. This is kind of our sort of meditative lead into a practice. Like, what might it look like to have or evince good guest chi, Kèqì? And maybe you're thinking about it, how you are as a guest or how you aim to be. Maybe you're thinking like a guest that you have had or maybe have regularly that's sort of a pretty good model. Maybe the way you want to think of it is somebody that's a guest of yours, maybe regularly and maybe occasionally, who's not a good guest. So kind of your model is, like John was saying, kind of not quite, less like her, more like something else, In that case, all of the reasons that you know that person not to be a good guest really is showing you that you already know what a good guest is, because you're complaining that this person is not the model that you have built subconsciously. Kèqì. So next I want to just think about Melmastia. This is the aspect of the Pashtunwali code that might fairly be translated as hospitality. So now maybe we're thinking of like the host chi rather than the guest chi. Right. And take a moment or two here, for Melmastia. Like what is it to be a fine host? What is it to be hospitable? So the Pashtunwali code is described as a code of life, you know. If you would like to hear a little bit more about it before we meditate, I'll share a little bit more about it. And if you're gonna feel like you have an idea what a good guest, the qualities of a good guest, the qualities of a good host, you might even think that they don't vary too much. And if you're content with that, we'll move on. And if you want to hear some more, give you a better idea, happy to do that too.
Can you say the second word again?
Melmastia.
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 That sounds Indian or something.
Yeah, it does Arabic, yeah.
Arabic.
Yeah, they share a root, the
Okay.
Arabic and Hindu, so if you can speak Hindu, you can puzzle a lot of Arabic out. Okay, everybody okay then? In this meditation, I'll just be talking you through it. I'm not trying to invite your brain to do a whole bunch of cognition and like get caught up in words and phrases and go somewhere else. So I'm going to be talking about the red dust world, which is a common term in these studies. So we can think of it here as just the mundane world, if you like. So fairly simple. I'm also going to be talking about the valley. I'll capitalize the valley in this use. And if we think about a valley, you know, a valley is showing perfect hospitality to everything, right? The rains come to it, the fog comes to it, the animals come to it. The valley doesn't have anything come to it that the valley rejects, right? You might say the side of a mountain, some things stick to it, most things are rejected, right? To kind of invert the valley. But you can't really put anything in the valley that the valley will slough off or reject. So we talk about what's called the Guòkè in Chinese, the spirit of the valley. And of course the valley is an exemplar of yin, right? That feminine quality, or those feminine qualities or ideals. So when we're talking about the valley, you might hear the word is capitalized. I may in here talk about the spirit of the valley. I don't remember if I use that phrase in the translation here, but I'm not really describing a particular valley. It's just the idea of valleyness. Okay? All right. Also remember that if you're lying down, that is a posture. So, whilst remaining in a comfortable and self-supported posture, breathe slowly. The breath visits us, arriving through the nose. The breath returns to the world, exiting the mouth. Breathing patiently, invite the exemplar sage into mind. Breathing simply, consider her qualities. Breathing compassionately, consider her virtues. As a humble, low, open valley, receive this breath into the body. With the breath within the body, observe the unadorned, simple pluripotency of this phase. Exhale into the red dust world. As a humble, low, open valley, receive this breath into the body. With the breath within the body, observe the unadorned, simple pluripotency of this phase. Exhale into the red dust world. As a humble, low, open valley, receive this breath into the body. With the breath within the body, observe the unadorned, simple pluripotency of this phase. Exhale into the red dust world. As a humble, low, open valley, receive this breath into the body. With the breath within the body, observe the warm, relaxed qualities of the self come into being. Exhale into the red dust world. As a humble, low, open valley, receive this breath into the body. With the breath within the body, observe the warm, relaxed qualities of the self come into being. Exhale into the red dust world. As a humble, low, open valley, receive this breath into the body. With the breath within the body, observe the unadorned, simple pluripotency of this phase. With the breath still within the body, observe the warm, relaxed qualities of the self come into being. Exhale into the red dust world. As a humble, low, open valley, receive this breath into the body. Observing the principles at play, receive this breath. Mindful of the aspects of this being, mind, heart, flesh, receive this breath. Exhale into the red dust world. As a humble, low, open valley, receive this breath into the body. Observing the principles at play, receive this breath. Mindful of the aspects of this being, mind, heart, flesh, receive this breath. Exhale into the red dust world. As a humble, low, open valley, receive this breath into the body. Observing the principles at play, receive this breath. Mindful of the aspects of this being, mind, heart, flesh. Receive this breath. With the breath within the body, observe the unadorned, simple pluripotency of this phase. With the breath within the body, observe the warm, relaxed qualities of the self coming into being. Exhale into the red dust world. The breath is but a guest within this being. We are but guests in this red dust world. Exhale your own wisdom, your own insights, your own particular life wealth into this red dust world. Muddy it, engage. As a humble, low, open valley, receive this breath into the body. Exhale into the red dust world. Invite breath into the body. Exhale. Muddiness into delightful muddiness. If and when ready, please feel welcomed back to this here where this now lives.